Hey guys, what is up? It is me, Pagey, here once again with another video on just some DC movie news. So in this video, we're going to be mainly focusing on some new stuff for the Flash film, as well as some stuff like Joker 2, Constantine 2, that HBO Max Superman project, a bunch of different things. So yeah, let's talk about it. But of course, throughout the video, be sure to let me know in the comment section down below your various thoughts on this stuff. Always curious where you guys are thinking. So yeah, let me know. So one of the big talking points when it comes to the Flash film, when it comes to stuff that hasn't really been shown in trailers, is cameos, and one in particular, that being Grant Gustin. Now, while nothing has been confirmed, another piece of merchandise and promo material has shined a new light on the potential of all this maybe actually happening in the film. Now, this is all coming from something in the form of an official visual companion for the upcoming Flash film, which features various animated and video game iterations of the character, and then Grant Gustin's character from the CW show. However, it doesn't actually feature John Wesley Shipp's version from the 1990 show, which was surprising. It just features Grant Gustin's more recent TV iteration and live action. Now, as soon as this popped up, as you'd expect, this put even more like fuel on the Grant Gustin cameo fire than already was there. Now, this visual companion for the movie is described as a comprehensive collection of stunning images, behind-the-scenes stories, and interviews for the film. Now, while this isn't a confirmation at all, it does line up with the various reports that have been coming out in regards to this film for something like this, and others as well from the past of the DC multiverse across film and TV, and there just being a sequence in the film where there is a lot of cameo stuff happening. Now, we know that the Crisis cameo with Ezra Miller was referenced as a major piece of canon for the Flash and the multiverse when heading into the cinematic landscape back at DC Fandom in 2020, when we had that panel with Greg Berlanti, Walter Hamada, Jim Lee, and stuff like that. And that was like something that was brought up that was very important. But because of all the changes going on, there hasn't really been much said since that point, which I guess is also because they were filming the movie and stuff like that. So that was all the talk about, the film and sort of hyping it up before we actually went into filming the movie. But I think it is pretty clear to say this is the cameo that most people want, I think. You don't have to think so. I mean, at least specifically on the Flash side of things, like, they don't really care if like the Injustice version of the Flash from the video game shows up. They want Grant Gustin, and a side piece would be they want John Wesley Shipp. So yeah, it'd be weird if this didn't happen, especially because it's been rumored for so long. Now, a couple of other like minor Flash movie things before we move on. Now, they did wrap up the musical score for the film the other day, which is a good sign that they are close to a picture lock on the movie, with us also getting another synopsis for the film due to the reveal of the McFarlane toy line for the movie, which had like an action figure for the Flash, a statue for Batman, like a replica Batmobile, some pretty cool things. This is what the description said. After an accident empowered Barry Allen with the gift of superhuman speed, the young scientist quickly became one of Earth's most heroic defenders. As part of the Justice League, Barry has continued to explore the limits of his powers while trying to outrun the events of his childhood. When he discovers that he has the ability to manipulate time, the fastest man alive races back to a pivotal moment in his past, only to change the future in a multiverse of ways that he could have never imagined. Now, obviously, the term multiverse of ways definitely broadens your mind. So, we're going to see multiple Earths, or just the different one he goes to in the movie with Michael Keaton's Batman and everything like that. That's all wait and see. Who knows exactly what we're going to see in the film? I don't even think a runtime has come out for the movie yet, though it's rumored to be around 2.5 hours. So maybe when we get a runtime for the movie and stuff, we might be thinking, oh, maybe there's more to this movie than people are thinking based off just the story from the trailer. But we should really expect the promo cycle for The Flash to pick up a gear over the next month or so, especially once Shazam 2 comes out and it has its 2 weeks of focused attention, and they can start focusing on The Flash and everything like that. It should be pretty exciting to see what they bring out. And it's going to be very interesting because the TV show on the CW is only wrapping up 2.5, 3 weeks before the movie comes out. So I don't know if there's going to be sort of cross promotion there or anything like that, or they might just, because that's going to be really confusing because there's going to be a lot of social media stuff around both of those properties. So that will be very interesting to see how that's handled in regards to the advertising and the promotional stuff, mainly on social media, but also just in other forms and stuff like that. Now, next thing to go over is some Joker 2 stuff. Now, I'm not too sure if I can actually show it. I might actually be able to show some of the photos. So I might show some of the photos rather than the actual video, because that might be what gets me in this video, and some people might claim it. So yeah, we'll show some photos. But there were some set photos showing multiple versions of Joker or Arthur Fleck running down a New York street, though the scenes were filmed in downtown Los Angeles. Now, it seems to be one of Arthur Fleck, one when he's I guess between being the Joker, and then one where he's the fully formed Joker. I guess what we saw at the end of last season, but the end of the first movie, because that main Joker thing appears to be a very very similar look to the one at the end of the first film where he's like on the talk show before he does what he does without mentioning what exactly it is. Now, unless there's multiverse in Joker, you would assume this is a dream sequence, whether it's actually happening for real and he's just imagining things, or it's completely a dream sequence. That's a wait and see. There were some people that didn't really want Joker 2 to happen. I mean, I think it was always going to happen when the movie made $1 billion. But obviously, this is meant to be like a musical, so it's going to be much different. It could either be really, really good or really, really weird. But like weird good, I don't know exactly how it's going to play out. It's a wait and see. But this is the only DC movie like live action that's coming out next year. So, and it comes out towards the end of next year. So next year is very dry when it comes to pretty much DC in general. So that's why a lot of the James Gunn stuff really matters heading into next year, because there's not a lot coming our way once we get Aquaman at the end of the year. We're going to be waiting quite a while for Joker. But speaking of things that have been in development for quite a while, Constantine 2, or at least people have been waiting for it for a while, Constantine 2. Now, Keanu Reeves was asked on a Reddit AMA whether he had spoken to James Gunn regarding the previously announced Constantine 2 that was in development, with him saying that he has. Now, the likelihood of this happening probably depends on whether James has any intention of using the John Constantine, character in the next few years and his early plans for his DC universe. And I think he does. Like, I think I've said this before in other videos, but it would not shock me in the slightest if John Constantine is going to be a very central piece, if not connecting piece, to the Justice League dark characters, or like the horror characters, or the just the darker characters. If you want to put them like Swamp Thing, Zatanna, Madame Xanadu, characters like that. And it would not shock me at all if John Constantine is going to be in Swamp Thing, whether it's as a guest, like a supporting character or whatever it might be. It wouldn't shock me if he's in that. So I don't know. It's going to be very interesting to see how this plays out. Swamp Thing might not be a movie that comes out until 2026, 2027. So if they can get Constantine 2 out before then James Gunn might be sweet by it. Just put the Elseworlds label on it and everything like that. But that's depends what he's planning. We don't know. And the final thing to talk about in this video is actually some Val Zod Superman stuff. So Michael B. Jordan has been doing the press rounds due to Creed 3 coming out across the world. And to get potential interest in clicks, various outlets are asking about the Val Zod Superman project that he has been attached to, and whether that is still happening, and if he can speak about it. Now, in some press junkets where they sat down in like a room and everything like that, the interviewer or the journalist was just asked to move on. Just, we can't talk about that, everything like that, which is understood as a bit more of a controlled environment. But on the red carpet, where it's a bit more loose, it gets a bit more loose, this happened.
And finally, you came back for Black Panther. We were so happy about that. But now you're going to take on the DC role of Black Superman.
Who said that? Who said that?
I said that.
Yeah, you said that. I ain't say that.
No.
I don't even know about no rumors about that one.
Okay. Okay.
Wow.
So this is one of those situations where it's in limbo by the sounds of it, and not exactly being rushed forward into production, but not cancelled at the same time. It's just sort of dormant, and they're just waiting for something to happen. Now, once again, this happening, I guess, would depend on the situation with James Gunn, but Michael B. Jordan was also attached to produce a Static Shock project for HBO Max, so he's attached to a couple of different things which haven't been officially cancelled. So I think this just might be in the bunch of those different situations, or maybe we have to wait to get more clarity at around like Comic-Con, which happens in late July this year. We have to wait until that point. James Gunn will do various interviews and he might touch upon those projects that were there, in development before he came in and what's happening, because nothing's really been said about that Black Canary movie that was happening. Zatanna's still sitting there. There's a bunch of other movies sitting there that haven't really had any updates, but also haven't been cancelled at the same time. So maybe around that point, James Gunn might give a big update and exactly what's happening there. So it's just a wait and see. It's just a weird thing when we get all these changes happening, but it happens. So we'll just have to wait. But yeah, guys, thanks for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you did, it'd be awesome. You could drop a like and to show support. Let me know in the comment section down below your various thoughts on all the stuff we went over. Any thoughts? Let me know. Always curious. And of course, if you are new to the channel, make sure to subscribe and I'll catch you guys later. Goodbye.